Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us today. We will officially begin at 7:03 p.m. While we wait for people to enter, you may visit our website at phillipnova.com.sg to learn more about us. We'll be starting shortly. See you in a bit.
One p.m.
Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us today. We will officially begin at 7:03 p.m. While we wait for people to enter, you may visit our website at phillipnova.com.sg to learn more about us. See you in a bit. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar, a deep look into U.S. AI and semiconductor stocks. My name is Rojin from Phillip Nova, and I'll be hosting tonight's session. This webinar is jointly organized by Phillip Nova and Trading Central. We are very happy to have two speakers from Trading Central with us tonight, Ms. Spacey Liu, who will give us a brief introduction to Trading Central tools, and Mr. Ming Lam, who will be sharing his insights on tonight's topic. To start off, let us welcome Miss Basie.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, let me just share my screen. Good evening, everyone. My name is Spacey, and welcome to Philip Nova's webinar with Trading Central. Firstly, I will briefly introduce to you the TC products and Trading Central, and also how Trading Central can provide investing ideas to all of you. Uh, Trading Central was founded in 1999, and now we have a history of more than 26 years. We have 9 offices around the world, and we have served more than 300 clients and more than 100 million end users. We are specialized in technical analysis, and our products can help traders to make trading decisions 5 days a week around the clock. And now you can find Trading Central plugin on the download link of the MT5 plugin and TC indicators on Philip Nova's official website. And after installing, we can log into MT5 and find the TC indicators on the left-hand side of the menu bar. And the folder consists of 3 different indicators. Firstly, let's look at analyst views. If we drag it to our chart on the right-hand side, we press OK to continue, and now we can see that our analyst views is displayed on the instrument at the top right corner. By default, it's green for bullish trend and red for a bearish trend. R1, R2, R3 are different resistance levels and also are the target price, where R2 is more conservative and R3 is more aggressive. As likewise, S1, S2, and S3 are different support levels. And if the market environment has changed, and there it will be the corresponding target price as well. And also we can select different time frames. For example, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and 4 hours period. So the next one we will talk about is adaptive candlesticks. So if we drag it to the chart here, we can see that this indicator has selected the trader's favorite 16 Japanese candlestick patterns, and it automatically scans for the patterns and shows them on the graph. If we hover our mouse on the abbreviation, and we can find the description of that particular candlestick. The ones in red are selling signals, while the blue ones are buying signals. We would recommend first to refer to our analyst views, and if candlestick signals align with it, they are more reliable and right now might be a good chance to enter the market. However, if the analyst views contradict with the candlestick signals, we might want to wait for better timing to enter the market. Sorry. To see it more clearly, I will just delete the adaptive candlesticks. Okay, so the next indicator I'm going to talk about is adaptive divergence convergence. It is also an indicator created by Trading Central, and it is useful at shorter lengths and offers more timely signals. Again, we drag it to the chart here. Sorry, just 1 second. I think it might be because of the VPN, the signal is not that good. Let me just do it all over. List. Yeah, and also from this indicator, we are also able to see the buy, sell, and intra-exit signals. The green ones are the long signals, where the red ones are short signals. The arrow represents the signs to enter the market, while LX and SX are exit signals. Same as candlestick, if the NS views align with the ADC signal, this might be a good chance to enter the market. However, if the views contradict with the signals, we might want to wait for better timing to enter the market.
Hello.
Hello? Now, if we go into Expert Advisor, and if we click on Trading Central, the new window will open. Okay. Oh, sorry. So the new window shows Market Bus, Economic Insight, and Forex Future Ideas. So Market Bus using AI shifts through tens of thousands of quality social media channels, blogs, and news every day to provide a concise, accurate view of the market's latest buzz on any given instrument. For instance, if we choose NVIDIA as an example, we click on the bubble, and now we can see different charts and scores. We can find the number of overall mentions in the past 24 hours, mention sources, and trend analysis. And also it displays the top trading topics of this particular subject. And the chart here shows the volume of the mentions over the selected period. And also news feeds from different authorized sources are displayed on the right-hand side. The next one is economic insight. It enables us to easily monitor, predict, and respond to any potential market moving events. For example, if we are interested in economic events happening in China with a high importance, take this one as an example, then we can find 4 different charts here. The event charts shows the forecast values and actual values of the event. The price chart shows the correlation between event forecasts and actual data, and the exchange rate changes over the past certain period of time. The third one is the volatility chart. We can filter different currency pairs hours or minutes after the events and different events to explore the historical impact of the economic event on a certain currency pair. The first graph is the price change, and the second graph shows the volatility. On the fourth chart, we analyze the price performance of a currency pair at different time frames after the event. Now let's move on to Forex featured ideas. This product can bring us live trade ideas detected by our award-winning pattern recognition. In the customer setting, we can choose different currency pairs, and we can type the currency pairs we like in the search box and add it to the list. We can also choose different bar sizes and holding periods, as well as uh, classical charts and technicals we like. For example, I will just choose all bar sizes and all holding time frames and also classical patterns and overbought, oversold as the events of my interest. We click down, then we return to the home page. Now we can see that on the home page, it shows 10 different trading strategies for these different currencies. If we take if we take this Swiss franc, US dollars as an example, if we hold this instrument for up to 12 hours at at GMT 5 past 11, that is when the price is 1.2508. Our algorithm recognizes the double bottom pattern. It is also a bullish pattern, and the target price can reach between 1.25 to 1.26. And also the price change has been to 0.0002 since the event is recognized. Above the chart, the target price and stop loss levels are also displayed. Again, we can add the currency pairs we are interested in to the watch list for a easy viewing later. So this brings the end to the product introduction, and thank you all for your time. So next, I would like to pass it back to Rojun. Rojun, please.
Thank you, Basi, for sharing. Now we'll move into the session with Ming, who will take us through today's topic. Before I hand over, just a quick reminder. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the Q&A box at the top right corner of your screen. We will go through the questions during the Q&A segment at the end. Okay, Ming, over to you.
Hey, hello. Thank you, Rojin, and also thank you, Beisi. I think you can hear me well, right? Okay. And first of all, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you are. We meet again. Okay. Last time our webinar was in March. I think, yeah, March, less than 3 months ago. And I'm very happy that we meet again today for some exchange on the market. And yeah, don't worry. As you know, my materials, my webinar materials are very straightforward. No complicated mathematical equation, no difficult to understand theories. Okay, just normal, just like we normal chatting. Okay, and at the end of the webinar, I've hoped you can get something very useful on your investing. Okay, on your trading. Okay, and I believe that if you follow our webinars for this month, you should be doing quite well for the past 2 months. Am I right? All right. So let's go to today. Give me 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, that will be enough. Okay. So sit back and relax. Okay. My style conclusion. Today we are talking about AI stocks, chip stock or semiconductor stocks. Okay. As you know, these stocks have been doing quite well for the past 2 months, and they consolidate a little bit since last Friday. All right. So my conclusion is that we are seeing U.S. stock major stock indexes making record high and then record high. And I have to stress again that the artificial intelligence era, the AI era, has just started. Okay, don't believe the bubble saying. All right, and yeah, AI stocks, cheap stock means semiconductor stocks. Okay, there are various supporting stories behind every stocks, and I will introduce those stories to you. No worry. Okay, and also I will point out the best AI stock that I have encountered. All right, and then we look back from US back to our Asian markets. I know many of you are in Asia, maybe in Singapore, Hong Kong, or somewhere else in Asia, right? All right, okay, let's start. Give me 30, 35, 40 minutes. Okay, first of all, now this is the chart that I showed in our last webinar in March. All right, March. At that time, do you know what happened at that time? We were in 24th of March, 26th of March, something like this. And at that time, the market was, the atmosphere was quite bearish. Okay, and at that time, I set some target level, downside target, and alternative target on the upside. Now, eventually, the stock market, S&P 500, the US stock market, okay, hit my first downside target, and then boom, make a strong rebound, crossing my key resistance level, okay, and then reverse to the bullish side, and then it even broke across both my alternative upside target. And you can see how strong the market is, particularly the AI stocks and chip stocks, right? So this is a test stock, last 100, same story. Our first downside target hit it, and then boom, strong rebound, okay? Record after record high, okay? So do you still remember what happened? Do you still remember? At that time, we made the last webinar in March. Well, in February, the last day of February, I still remember, 28th of February, what happened? Anyone knows what happened? Anyone still remember? In the last day of February, February 28th, the U.S. Iran conflict began. Okay, and then people say, oh, it is just like a Vietnam War. It will last 20 years, something like this, and it will drag down the U.S. economy, blah blah blah. And okay, we have a bearish market for 1 month. Okay, and then at the start of April, boom, the strong rebound, very overwhelming. Okay, people seems to forget that, oh, there was a U.S.-Iran conflict. Okay, so I tell you what happened. Now I will be very brief on this one because what? Now, last night we saw that the U.S. resumed their strike against Iran. Okay, and frankly, I can tell you, it doesn't bother me very much on my investing. Why? Looking back, there was still a conflict between the U.S. and Iran back in April and in May. However, the stock market made record high after record high. So what does it imply? It implies that the market doesn't care about the conflict anymore. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the conflict at all. Now, let me ask you one question. Who is controlling the pace of the conflict or of the fighting? Okay, is it US or Iran? Okay, you think about that, and you can see that who is controlling the situation. Okay, and then to me, I'm not very worried about the conflict on this investing. Okay, we've finished discussing this topic, and then we move on. This is more important. Now, if you check my webinars for the past few months, for the past several webinars, you will see that I bring this up every time. This is what? This is a global M2 money supply. That is the money supply by major central banks in the US, in the Europe, in Japan, in China, also in Canada. Okay, you can see that the white line is always increasing. It means we have, it means the central banks are continuing to bring in liquidity, or in other words, printing money. All right. At the same time, liquidity is increasing. The stock market, in this case, you can see the purple line, less than 100 is follow suit. Okay. Now we see higher and higher number of this money supply, and I don't worry about at all about the uptrend of the stock market. All right. So next one, next week we are going to see this gentleman, Kevin Walsh, to chair for the first time the U.S. Federal Reserve policy meeting to set interest rates. Okay. And Donald Trump, our good old friend, President Donald Trump, make it very clear that if this gentleman is going to increase interest rates, he will not get this job. All right, full stop. So I don't think he will cut rate next week, but I expect we have more interest rate cuts within this year. Okay, and well, last night, in fact, we have major U.S. inflation data released. Okay, and you can see that. Look at the core inflation rate, which takes away the volatile energy prices, and it is within expectation, not very hot. And I expect that the chance of hiking interest rate, as most other traders expect, I don't think the chance is high. All right. So now we have higher liquidity. We have a lower chance of hiking interest rate. We have a very good bullish factors for the stock market going forward. So going forward, now this is a new chart. Well, in fact, I have to say that all these charts I'm going to show you today, I did not join yesterday. I keep joining it. Well, you know, I am a professional analyst. We watch the market every day. We keep updating our chart like this one. Okay, I did not join yesterday. So some levels we set it some time ago. Okay, they are still valid. So we don't change the levels, the target levels. So they're still valid. So now you can see the S&P 500 just several sessions ago, it made record high 7,620. And of course, for the past several sessions, I think starting last Friday, we have some consolidation. Okay, it is normal. All right, and still we are still looking bullish. We are still bullish on U.S. stocks. Remember. Okay. Second, again, we have Nasdaq 100, the tech stock index. Okay, it made record high several sessions ago, over 30,700. Okay, and now we have a little bit consolidation. How about the Dow Jones? All right, the Dow Jones 51,600 a few sessions ago. All right, and also the small cap. It is a little bit surprise to me that you can see that the small cap, the Russell 2000 index, they consolidate less than other major indices. Okay, now as you can see, our major U.S. stock indices, S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, Dow Jones, and this one, Russell 2000, they are in a consolidation mode, but not remember in a change in trend. Okay, we are still looking for an uptrend. Okay, now we talk about the stock market on the up move. Okay, so this is the background, and as I promised, I will point out the best AI stock. I will talk about other AI stocks, chip stocks later. But the first one is the most important one. I hope you can make some notes. All right. The best AI stock I can say is Alphabet, or someone will say Google, the parent company of Google. Now, it made a record high, $408 back in May, and since then it has consolidated a bit. Okay, our key support level is set here, 342. Okay, I'm still looking about bullish. I'm still bullish on this one. So what is the story behind? Now, the first stock I'm talking about is the most important one in the webinar. So remember back in late March, it ran down to 272. Okay, boom, in April, it followed the major market to be up to 400. Okay, it is a very, very substantial move, and I hope you are the one who are in the Alphabet investor for the past 2 months. Okay, so why I am bullish on this one? First of all, Berkshire Hathaway. Do you still remember our king of stock picking, Mr. Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett. Of course, now he is 95 years old. He has stepped down from the post of CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, an investment company, and now the CEO is Greg. Okay, now recently, just maybe last week, we see that Berkshire invest an extra $10 billion in Alphabet. In fact, maybe you don't know that it is the second batch of investment Berkshire Hathaway made in Alphabet in recent time. And maybe 2 more weeks ago, it revealed that this company, Berkshire, held a big stake in Alphabet. So this is the second time we heard about that it invest in the Alphabet. Okay, in fact, Alphabet is raising capital, $80 billion to fund its operation, particularly its AI operation. Okay, so I think Alphabet is the best AI stock, partly because I follow Berkshire Hathaway. Okay, sometimes I know that I'm not very smart, and I follow those smart people. Do you agree? All right. Now, in fact, Google's Alphabet's profits jumped 80%. The latest quarterly results so that jumped 81%. But you know what? Nowadays, investors don't see very good results as good enough. And this is the problem for the stock price. And I will show it again and again to you. Okay, in fact, this one is very good. This result is very good. This is the income statement or how it earned money. Well, have you heard about Gemini? Google has Gemini, just like the ChatGPT of OpenAI, and just like the cloud of Anthropic, right? Anthropic and OpenAI are going to have their IPO very soon. All right. So Google has also a chatbot and Gemini, which I find it quite good. Okay. At the same time, it operates the biggest internet search engine in the world. Is Google. Hey, do you know which one is the second biggest search engine in the world? Yeah, you're correct. YouTube. Okay. People don't have TV, just like myself. I don't have TV at home. My TV, I don't have TV channel. My TV is just connected to YouTube for searching all those things that I want to watch. All right. Now you see, Google has AI products, has search engine, and also it is engaged in one thing. And I want to ask you, how many of you know that Google is operating this kind of segment. Yes, Google is also making chips, just like NVIDIA. All right, its chip is called Tensor Processing Unit. We always call it TPU. TPU. NVIDIA produce what? GPU, Graphic Processing Unit, and Google TPU is going to compete with NVIDIA's chip. Okay, and in which way they are competing? They are competing on efficiency and also on power consumption, something like this. And so you can find that Google Alphabet is all-rounder in the AI era. Okay, so have a look at this stock. Okay, if you can buy in the dip, try some. All right. Now, looking back into the AI, artificial intelligence market, and I have heard enough that people compare the current AI era, which has just started, to the 1999 to 2000 year internet bubble. They say they are both bubbles. Okay, I disagree. In those time, internet. Okay, there are thousands of companies coming up with no revenue and no nothing. They are just putting up some a fancy website to catch what? To catch your eyeballs. Okay, but now our AI company, they are producing chatbots for you to work on something, to ask for something. At the same time, have you heard about the word agentic AI, or AI agents? Okay, now we are having AI that help us to do tasks. Okay, it is completely different from the internet bubble in those time, 2000. Well, 26 years ago. And yeah, so I believe in this kind of market survey on prediction that we are just at the start. Okay, just at the start of the AI era. Okay, next, I want to show you this. Okay, big tech, Meta, Microsoft, Alphabet, we just mentioned that, and Amazon, they have announced that they will spend together in combination 725 billion in 2026. Just this year, they are going to spend this amount. Okay, 725 billion US dollars. And back to that theory, that do you think all these four tech giants, do you think they are smarter than you or dumber than you? I think they are, for me, in my case, I think they're much smarter than I am. They know in the market, the AI market, that something I don't know. Okay, so I think, and I follow them, and I think the AI era has just begun. All right, we have still a long way to go. Okay, so I will not call this an AI bubble. Okay, now we get into more interesting stocks. Okay, now Broadcom, and it was very interesting. Just last week, it made a record high. You will see record high, this label, on most of my charts today, because they really make record high recently, within a week or two. All right, Broadcom 495, and then on the downside. What happened? Anything wrong? I can tell you, nothing wrong. It is because back to the situation that the chip stock, AI company, just like Google and Broadcom, they release very good result, much better than expected result. However, investors say it is not good enough. So when will investor find that they are good? Time. Okay, we need some time, the passage of time, for them to realize that they can really turn AI investment into revenue and earnings. Okay, not like the internet bubble 20 something years ago, that they are burning money, but they are not earning money. In this AI era nowadays, we are spending money, a lot of money, okay? At the same time, we are spending this money to make money, all right? Now, Broadcom is the, by market capitalization, is the second biggest chip stock, okay, in the US. That's why last week when it went down, it dragged along all other chip stocks. Now, NVIDIA record high is 236 back in May. Okay, you can see that it consolidated alongside the big the outer market. And ladies and gentlemen, NVIDIA's profits triple. Okay, and also it gives a very upbeat outlook. Revenue growth they predict. Okay, at the same time, you can see that it announced a $80 billion stock buyback. At the same time, it increased its stock dividends. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this company is very, very confident of its own future. Okay, and once you see a consolidation in stock price like this one, a consolidation, you know that it is a good time to buy on dip. All right. Now going forward, we can see that CEO Mr. Huang introduced that a new chips for personal computer on laptop and desktop. All right, you can see. Is it a bubble? I don't think so. Okay, they are coming into your computers. Okay, before they are providing chips, GPU I mentioned before, to the data center, to AI company. Now they are providing chips to your personal computer. Okay, you can see the growth going forward. Okay, if we are going to say NVIDIA is the big brother in the chip sector, I always say that AMD could be the second brother. Okay, we are not talking about the market cap. We are talking the potential. Okay, so AMD, you can see that last year, 2025, up 77%. Okay, this year in less than 6 months, at high, okay, just again several sessions ago, at high $546. It made it was up 155% from the start of the year when we measure at this high. Okay, so we are always say that we watch AMD as if it will be the second big brother in the chip stock. Okay, let's see. Now, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, TSM, you can see that also 415 record high just made last week. Okay, why do I bring up this TSM? Because you have to see that it is, as its name implies, it manufactures semiconductor. It helps other big names, for example, NVIDIA, to produce chips. Okay, we can see that 70% of the chips are made in TSMC. In where? In Taiwan. Okay, in Taiwan. So whenever you think you mention Taiwan, if you are very investment sensitive or political sensitive person, your brain will bring up one word. What word? Geopolitical tension. Geopolitical tension with whom? With China. Okay. There are always potential of conflict between Taiwan and China. Do you agree what I'm saying? Okay. Even when I'm doing this seminar, webinar, there is danger of conflict. So when you consider that 70% of the world's chips are made in Taiwan, you will see that the sector is not in a safe place, right? and then we have a solution. That solution is Intel. Well, Intel, the story behind Intel is made in USA. Okay, made in the USA. This year, 259% at its high, 133. Well, you know what? Back in March or February, March, Intel was just a stock worth $40, $50, something $40 or $50, and boom, it was up to 133 in 2 months. All right, and very interesting. And apart from made in USA story, there is another story, is that the US government has taken a 10% stake in Intel. Okay, whenever our good old friend President Donald Trump has touched a stock or recommend a stock, you have to pay attention. All right, including Intel. Okay, and going forward, we are seeing Intel going to make chips for other tech giants like Apple. Okay, growth, ladies and gentlemen, I can see growth and growth, and of course, its stock price, its stock price will not be disappointing you. All right, and so have a look at Intel. Next one, we call it our semiconductor darling for this year, Micron. Okay, at its high, nearly 1,090 US dollar. It was up 281% year from the start of the year. So it is very overwhelming. And Micron MU, what does it do? And well, you know what? In chip, when we talk about semiconductor, talk about chip, we talk about NVIDIA's chip, we talk about what? Computing. Okay, we say how efficient the chip is computing for the system. All right. At the same time, we are trying hard to produce as enough computing power for the industry. We notice that there is also one feature that we are in shortage. That one is memory. Okay, apart from computing power, we should also have memory power. Okay, now Micron is the one who produces memory chips. Have you heard about HBM, high bandwidth memory? Okay, now this is a statistic that blue one is the demand. Last year we have demand oversupply. Okay, shortage. This year we have demand over supply, shortage. And next year, we forecast that supply is still lower than demand, shortage. We are seeing shortage of memory chips everywhere, okay? And Micron is in the focus of this phenomenon. And in fact, Micron has already sold out its high bandwidth memory supply for this year already. So no more, no stock. Okay, see you next year. And maybe next year, still sold out. Okay, probably. Okay, at the same time, you can see that SK Hynix and Samsung, they are competitor. I will mention them later in this webinar. And that's why we see Micron just like a rocket, up 280% in less than 7 months of this year. Okay, so have a look. I think it will consolidate and then going rebound again. Okay, there's no way to satisfy, as you can see, to satisfy the market demand on the memory chips. All right, SanDisk also a data storage stock, and this year, this stock was just listed last year. Okay, up this year, less than 6 months, is up already 683%. Okay, it SanDisk produce flash memory, data storage. Okay, memory cards, maybe you take out the memory cards from your digital camera or a digital device. It should be something like made by SanDisk. Okay. Also, in notebook computer, in desktop computer, it supply the what? SSD, solid state disk. Have you heard about that? And you can see that while all other stocks are consolidating bigger extent, this one is consolidating a little bit only. All right. So this is SanDisk. Have a look. Okay. Now, how about other tech giants, traditional tech giant? I can say that they lag behind. They lag behind those stock AI and cheap stock I just mentioned. For example, Amazon. Okay, just like a double top, and in May it make a record high here, 278, and then double top and getting down. How about the Meta? Meta, not good. Also drifting down. We call them hyperscaler. Meta, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Okay, they invest big, very big in AI infrastructure. Okay, and Tesla. And I was sometime in May it was quite strong, but then it ran to the downside, reversed to the downside, quite disappointing. Okay, and you know what? People say the SpaceX IPO, well, which will be up very soon, and within this month, I think, is drawing some liquidity from this stock. All right, because they're closely related. If you're interested in SpaceX, have a look at his prospectus. It is a very interesting prospectus. Have a look. All right. So the Apple is quite well. You know what? We call it a lagger in the AI era, and it is not as strong as other chips and AI stocks. And in fact, maybe you will agree with me that their product not very innovative. Can I say this? Recently, its products are not quite very innovative, and I hope it will get better and better soon. All right. And I prepared some stock sector that I thought last week could bring a reversal to the upside. However, for the past week, we see this stock sector going to the downside, and not very. I can see a forced breakout. Okay, I can see say it has staged a forced breakout. It break out a little bit and then reverse to the downside. This sector is called software sector. Okay, Microsoft, like this one. Palantir, okay, Palantir, I repeat, it is a stock that using AI to help the U.S. Defense Department military to fight a battle, okay, to fight war, okay, AI, all right. Remember, our good old friend President Trump praised this stock some times ago, all right, and well, it was in April, okay, and in April it really up a little bit, but still going back to the downside. So the why also Oracle software stock. There is a story behind software sectors recently. There is a saying that, and most of the investors believe that AI will get rid of the software sectors. Okay, SaaS, software as a service. Okay, I don't think so. In fact, I don't think so. I think going forward, software companies are helping enterprise to utilize AI. Okay, so let's see, and you also can have a look, focus on these software sectors. Okay. Okay. Next one, we are going to have Cipher Mining, CIFR. Well, it is a data center stock. Okay, it operates data centers. It just made record high, 28.6 last week. Of course, it followed the big market to consolidate. Okay, and I can see this for AI, the data center is a core infrastructure. Okay, you can see now data centers are being built everywhere across the US. Okay, have a look at this one, Cipher, and it is quite volatile. It is quite volatile because it is also involved in what? In Bitcoin mining. Okay, this stock I can say is very volatile, but I'm bullish on this one. Looking forward, it should be on the upside. All right. So now I have finished talking about AI stocks, chip stocks, or some software stocks. So do you think there are still bubbles? Now, if you say there are bubbles, I will say that okay, there are bubbles. There are still bubbles. Okay, there are still bubbles, particularly those AI and chip stocks. As I explained, they are putting huge capital expenditure, planning on this infrastructure. You can see Google engaging in a chip making, and also we have a shortage in memory chips going forward. And you can see NVIDIA is going into personal computer chips, bringing AI to personal computer. And you can see we are in a very new AI era. Okay, I won't say it is a bubble like the internet bubble. If you want to say it is a bubble, I will say it is, well, they are still bubbles. All right. Now, some more to share with you is that 75% of institutional investors, for example, hedge funds, they are underperforming the whole market. Okay, for the past 2 months, they are lagging behind also. Okay, only 25% can beat the S&P 500. Okay, why? Because their model, their valuation model, could not come up with cannot catch up with the AI era. Okay, so I think you can beat those institutional investors easily. All right. And at the same time, you can, at the other angle, you can also see that if there is a dip in share price of the AI stocks, chip stocks, these institutional investors, they will jump in. They will jump in to buy before you do. Okay. So I do not see the consolidation in AI stocks, chip stocks will last very long. All right. At the same time, I will share with you some Asian stock market. Okay, Japan record high 68,000. Oh my goodness! Before we were talking about 50,000. Okay, and now it is 68,000. Of course, it consolidated a bit. And this one, CrossFit, is very famous recently. Record high also 8,900 points. In fact, the Korea's stock market is just a little bit like similar to the U.S. stock market. It is dominate. The gains are dominated by two major stocks, Samsung and SK Hynix. Okay, they are chip makers. Also, they just like Micron. You still remember Micron? Just like Micron, they also make memory chips. Okay, so it is in the same pace as the US market. Okay, Singapore, well, record high 5,150 at the Straits Times Index. Okay, just last week. Okay, how about the place where I am, Hong Kong, Hang Seng? Well, unfortunately, it lags behind other Asian markets. Okay. And well, there are reasons for that, but I don't think I will get into details of this today. All right. So Ladies and gentlemen, as I promised, I will use only 30 to 40 minutes for my webinar, and then let's talk. If you want to share something, if you want to ask question, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ming Lam, for the insightful sharing. We'll now move into the Q&A segment. If you have any questions, please type them into the Q&A box at the top right corner of your screen. So we'll give everyone about like 1 to 2 minutes to send in their questions.
Okay. Mhm. I like these steel bubbles.
Okay, while we wait, Ming Lam, could you share one key takeaway from today's session that you think could be most useful for our audience?
Yes, sure. Yeah, this one, bubbles. And we are now in the, let me show you a chart. And we consolidate a little bit on the tech stock, AI stocks. I know that for the past two sessions, we seen quite downside for those stocks that I mentioned. For example, NVIDIA, Intel, Micron. Okay, but think about the big picture, as I point out at every session of this seminar, that we have just started the AI, artificial intelligence era. Okay, do not let
2 p.m.
do not let 1, 2, or 3 bearish candles to change your mind. Okay, I'm still very bullish on this very good chance of profiting from the AI era. Just well, if you can buy some at the dip, and okay, and this is I think we need to point out this at this time.
Thank you. Okay, we have one question.
Yeah,
What
please
is
go
your
ahead.
view? Yeah, what is your view on gold?
On what?
On gold.
On gold. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Sorry, I don't have a gold chart with me today, but I am still also watching gold on a daily basis, and the 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 technical configuration of gold, I can tell, is very bad. I look at the weekly chart, is on the downside. I look at the daily chart, it is on the downside, and there's no reversal signal I have noticed so far on gold. At the same time, also on silver. So well, unlike the stock, the gold and silver, they are really change in trend. Okay, I mean change to the downside. Well, in stock we can say it is just consolidate. Okay, but in gold and silver, uh, I would say it is better to jump out of these commodities to get into this stock sector. I mean AI and semiconductor stock sector. Okay.
Okay, thank you. The next question. How do you see the recent SpaceX IPO impacting market liquidity and investor sentiment?
Okay, good. And yeah, of course, we are also watching closely with the SpaceX. I don't think it is drawing. I disagree with the saying that it is drawing liquidity from other stocks, because um, uh, I do not think institutional investors they are jumping in at the very first day or the first week of the IPO to get in those shares. Okay, I mean SpaceX shares, and I do not agree with the saying that liquidity is drawn down by this SpaceX shares. And have a look at, I think I mentioned once in today's webinar that the prospectus of SpaceX is quite interesting. Well, in fact, it is the company is very bullish on the AI market, and look at its revenue source. I think most of the revenue source is not on space. It should be on AI something. Very interesting, and it has some business to do with Tesla. I mean, is it the truck, something like this? And have a look, and in fact, I myself will stay on the sideline and watch these IPO shares to perform for 2 to 3 months before I really consider making a bet. All right.
Okay. The next question is the S&P 500 and Nasdaq have performed strongly so far. Do you think there is still meaningful upside ahead, or are markets approaching fair value?
I am still bullish. I'm still bullish on the stock market. Yeah, good question. On the S&P 500 and also Nasdaq 100 index, I'm still of the opinion that they are going to make reverse to the upside. Okay, from the recent consolidation, they will reverse to the upside to make record high again after record high after record high. I point out some factors already. For like this one, the Federal Reserve is not going to hike interest rate. It is going to cut interest rate. Okay, and what? And yes, liquidity is on the upside again. Okay, it remains on the upside. So I don't see any change in trend of the stock market, U.S. stock market at the moment. Okay, we can have some consolidation and then we are up again. This is my opinion.
Okay. One last question.
Yeah.
Which market do you see offering a stronger upside for technology and AI-related investments over the next 12 months? Is it the US, China, or North Asia markets?
US should be the US. And the factors I talk about, the Federal Reserve, the liquidity. Well, you know what? The US market can absorb a lot of capital, can absorb attract a lot of capital and can attract a lot of liquidity. There are a lot of reasons behind that, including the rule of law, okay, including the market liquidity. You can buy and sell US stocks within seconds. And there's not an issue of liquidity. You won't say, oh, I cannot sell this stock. Well, you can sell this stock. And there are a system of derivative, a very, very well developed derivative market in the US. Okay, so I'm still very bullish on the US stock market. That's why.
Thank you, Ming Lam, for answering the questions. As we are running close to time, we will wrap up the Q&A segment here. A big thank you once again for both speakers for joining us tonight. And thank you everyone for taking the time to attend this webinar. For any questions that we are not able to cover today, we will follow up via email. We will also send the webinar recording link to all attendees after the session. If you would like to find out more, you may visit our website at phillipnova.com.sg or reach out to us via email. You can also follow our official social media channels, Phillip Nova SG, on Instagram and TikTok for the latest updates. That brings us to the end of tonight's webinar. Thank you again for your time and have a great evening ahead. See you at our next session.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you.